Vinny, Vinny. Cool kids. Cool kids, I have arisen from my slumber. And, well, I got stuff to tell you guys. Um, I got a cautionary tale for you. Yep, cautionary tale. Purchase I made a few years ago. Yep, purchase I made a few years ago that might interest you guys. I mean, it might interest you guys. So, the thing is, silver is very volatile. And some are not, they don't have the temperament, I'll say, to play the silver roller coaster. Okay. Some probably don't have the temperament to play the stock market, really. Or they should probably stick to, savings bonds or something, money market account. But nothing wrong with any of those vehicles. I'm sure they all have their time and place. But a few years ago, you'll remember, in 2020, silver had a big run up. And it was such a run up that even I thought, wow, this is a heck of a run up. Because it went from like $12 an ounce to $29 an ounce in the span of a few months. And it was during this time that a young man that I didn't know at the time began to collect silver. And this young man, we'll call him the dude. He was a radical dude, real nice guy, real sociable. And he loved to interface with others, networking, right? And somehow in his journey, his adventures, he had gotten in cahoots, right, with some stackers. Yep, stackers, which, as we all know, are a loathsome and lowly bunch. Yeah, contestable and daunting to deal with. But he took it in stride and traveled forth in his adventure. And he learned of the ways of silver. He learned all the cool little lingo and terminology, right? The jargon. Yeah. He even learned from me about the GSR. Yeah. I know, shocked. Some of you guys are shocked. And this young tyke, who was probably 28, so he wasn't a young tyke. Real cool dude. Man, he was ready. He was ready for silver to go to the moon, guys. To the moon. He was convinced that this was his vehicle to early retirement. And I often cautioned him. I said things like, silver is volatile. This is a long-term investment. And then I say things like, I don't even know if investment's really the word to use. It's more of a insurance, more of an insurance. Now, where he lived in the country, as you may be noticing, gave proximity to some really good Mexican stuff. And he started a network of people on eBay. Yeah. The eBay people. Or not eBay, sorry. Facebook. That's it. And that's how I met him. I meet him. He's, we're all going to the moon. He seemed a friendly enough cat. And so I'm a social butterfly. Social butterfly, guys. I'll talk to anyone until they, like if you're a goofball, I'm gonna block you. But if you're not a goofball, we're cool, man. Anyway, this guy never gave me any reason to dislike him. He did do one tacky thing, but we'll talk about that. You should never do this. But I never blocked him. We're still buddies on Facebook to this day. But what happened was, and I'm not trying to say anything bad about the guy, is silver dropped. Silver dropped, and when silver dropped, right? Well, perspectives start to change, don't they? Yeah. And when perspectives change, priorities change. And that vehicle shooting that rocket ship on up to the heavens, it never materialized for our guy. And so one day I get a message. Hey, I got all this silver for sale. Do you want to buy it? I said, why are you selling now when it dropped? Why didn't you sell it when it was high? If you're wanting to take profits. He says, oh, no, I'm out of silver. Silver isn't it. That's not where it's at. Now, I said, well, now hold on. Are you sure you want to sell me your silver? Yes, sir, I do. I said, well, I'll give you a fair price. So we dicker. And I can tell you guys that for what I paid a fair price for him. I paid a little over $1 million. Okay. But you have to realize that when he bought these, he paid, I won't say a lot more than what I paid him, but definitely more. So he lost money. And I paid him as much as I could because I liked the guy, And I'll shoot you some prices so you guys kind of know what I paid. Got them all written down here. So, for example, I paid $30 for this round. Okay. Now, he came back to me after he sold this to me and asked me to give it back to him at what he paid. And I said, I don't sell silver. Apparently, now I didn't know this at the time when I told him, no, I don't sell silver. I've never sold silver. I'll give it away, but I won't sell it. And I mean, the very idea of selling it back after he sold it to me, it didn't make any sense to me, And I guess maybe I'm a dick, but I didn't sell it back to him. But it's a cool piece. And but I did do it. I did do him one better. I found him one on eBay that he could buy for about what I paid for this. So I don't. The thing is, me mailing stuff is a big ordeal for me because of the hours I keep. That's the main thing. That's why I don't mess with any of that. Me going to the post office is actually, if I see the sun, I can't sleep. So I have to go right to bed or right in my house and not leave it. Okay. And so if any of you guys wondering why I don't do gauze and stuff, that's why. I cannot, I'm not going to trade my sleep to, I'm not going to pussyfoot around with that. Sorry. I got to sleep the hours I work. Now, if I weren't like the Energizer Bunny and I saw the sun, I cannot sleep if I see the sun. I just suddenly, I'm like Superman, but in a bad way. I'm energized. You know what I'm saying? It's not good. I work nights. So, anyway, so I got that for $30. Right? He paid more though, he said. And I paid him a fair price for everything. I did. I gave him as much as I could. I paid what the going rate on eBay was for this stuff. It's nice stuff though. And it's still over melt. But the cautionary tale is it's still, he lost money on the deal. He also sold me a Venezuelan 1901 Venezuelan 5 bolivars and a 1941 Canadian dollar, I want to say. I believe it was a 41. I'd have to check. And the Canadian dollar was in a one of those holders, so it was a mint state, and so that's cool. Anyway, so I got these for about $23 each, and as you guys know, I just bought one for undermelt last week, but at $23, I'll buy these all day. By the way, if you have some, message me, hit me up. And these I paid $22 for the Diaz pesos. And these are 90%. They're about the size of a British crown. Really cool coins. These I paid a little less for. Yeah, $17. $17 for the 100 peso and the 5 peso. And you know, these are cool. These onzas, the scale onzas. Yeah, the manidas, I think they call them. These are nice. They're sterling silver, but they're still 1 ounce of silver. And those I paid 27 for, which is not bad. And I paid 27 for this. This was probably the steal of the bunch. I think it's the key date. It's the first year of issue, one or the other. But it's, yeah, the year 2000. And it's an onza. And that was 27.24. So, again, I didn't cheat the guy. I'm not going to cheat you. I'll deal you fair. But he did lose money. And the cautionary tale here is, in case you're wondering, the point of the story is, don't get into silver thinking you're going to go fly to the moon, right? And that's the only thing you can do is fly to the moon. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. All right? It could happen. Hold on. It could happen, but you can't count on it happening. That's what I'll say. Silver doesn't go straight up. But it's like I told my old buddy, David, right? Silver has never gone above 20 and not hit 50 at some point. Okay? You can look at the charts. $50 silver, I'm telling you right now, you will see $50 silver at some point. It's going to happen. It's inevitable. The question is when. If I knew that, guys, I'd be rich. But we will see $50 silver. It will happen. No worries, okay? It's going to be a thing. We love $50 silver. But just remember, that's just a number. What's going on in the economy outside of silver? So if we're having hyperinflation, $50 silver isn't that exciting, right? If we're having a fairly balanced economy and $50 silver is from a scarcity, then $50 silver is probably not going to last very long. So you probably want to sell some. Okay. However, if it is, watch gold. Watch gold. Gold, silver follows gold. I mean, there's like a 95% correlation in price historically. So it's the odds of that changing are pretty slim. It'd have to take some amazing market factors, some fundamental changes in the way atoms occur in nature, right? If we could start transmuting matter, sure, okay. But in that world, nothing's scarce, is it? Right? We're replicators like Star Trek stuff, teleporters, in fantasy land. But in reality, look at the market fundamentals, make a determination. The markets will shock you, but that's the psychology element. But the fundamentals don't change. How scarce is it? How valuable is it? If it's got scarcity and desirability, there's always going to be a value. Okay. And that value is determined by a great many other factors that, kind of boggle the mind, honestly. But guys, thanks for watching. Have an amazing day. I'm not going to go on too long. I just wanted to give you a cautionary tale about these. When silver goes up, you still want to maintain your buying unless you don't have your position. That's the thing. You want a position. The position is wherever you pick a number. When you start down, it could be 50 ounces. It could be 100 ounces. For me, it was 350 ounces. That was my magic number. That was my position I wanted to have. And I busted my ass. I think it took me like a year and a half to get there. Putting everything into it. I gave up eating out. I gave up everything because I was only making $10 an hour back then. That was my base position, 350 ounces. That's what I wanted to get to. And I got there, and man, I didn't even celebrate. I celebrated by buying more silver. So you need exposure. That's why I keep telling you guys, you want to get as much silver as you can for the lowest price possible at first. And then if you want to start specializing and you find a niche that you're good at flipping, or maybe you prefer looking at, it's your stack what you want. But you definitely want to get to a base position, whatever that position is. And then you can start, expanding out and at your pace. But, if you're at 0 ounces right now, I have 2 bits of advice for you. Dollar cost average, right? Buy in increments. You can do it in dollars per month, or you can do it in ounces per month. Okay, either way works. Just it all depends on your shovel. But that's going to give you more exposure to more price structures, right? So you can also incorporate, once you have your position, buying the dips. And you can do that anytime, but I'm saying once you have your position, now you have exposure. Okay, if silver shoots to the moon, you've got exposure. If you don't have your position, silver shooting to the moon doesn't do you any good, really, if you only have 10 ounces, right? But then you can start holding back, stacking that powder, buying the dips. And if you do that over the course of a few decades, you're going to have a couple thousand ounces probably and not break the bank. You might have to give up a little bit of eating out and such, or maybe you don't get the brand new car. Maybe you drive a used car. But when silver finally hits $50 an ounce, you're going to be a pretty happy camper. Anyway, I went on longer than I wanted to. And by the way, 50 isn't the cap. 50 is just what we know. 50 in 1980 would be like $180 today, adjusted for inflation. Okay. So it might even be more now because that's old information and we've had a lot of inflation. So it could be 200 now. So unless you're seeing 200 an ounce, we're not even close to the all-time highs. So the fundamentals are on your side. The question is the market? And I could have a very long discussion about that, so we're not going to do that. Thanks for watching. Have an amazing day. And if you found the video informative and fun, like, share, subscribe, phone a friend, and all that jive. And if you don't find all the collectibles of your dreams while you're awake, don't blame me, because I'm trying to show them to you. Thanks again for watching. Bye-bye.